Each week, we welcome to our NfG stage one of our highly talented members or special guests to bring you something designed to help you and your business. Our next guest has a passion for helping clients through a strong commitment towards each client's best outcome. With her business focused on structural well-being, she understands the importance of posture to not only avoid pain, but to optimize focus at work. With her business established to help people address postural issues, she has learned just how much the wrong position impacts work, as well as can lead to complications further down the road. So with 3 practical tips on posture to maximize your productivity, I bring to you Anna Tarjan. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning, Richard. Thank you very much for the lovely introduction and welcome everybody. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to give you a few practical tips about how you can feel light even at the end of your day and stay focused throughout the day. But before we get started, who here has thought of their posture or thought about their posture in the last hour? Can you raise your hand if you did? Someone, oh, Richard, you did? Yeah, a couple of people did. I'll be honest, I did, but only because I'm talking to you about it now. Because the reality is that for most of us, and in fact for everyone, posture is a little bit like driving, isn't it? We do it on autopilot. It's not something we're constantly thinking about. And some of you might now be thinking, oh my God, is she gonna tell me to always think about it? How am I sitting? How am I breathing? I haven't got time for that, I'm busy. The reality is what I'd like you to get out of today is a feel for what good feels like for you. Because just like bad habits in driving, if you start not looking around properly, not slowing down in front of a roundabout, all these things can lead into an accident. And bad habits with our posture can lead into problems like shoulder pain, neck pain, or headache. Who here tends to get a headache at the end of the day when they've been staring at the computer? Yeah, some more people. Some of you are nodding. Yeah, absolutely. It's a very common thing and it can be avoided, or there are lots of little steps you can take to not get a headache. And I'm hoping that by the end of this 10-minute slot, you'll be richer with some knowledge and practical tips for that. Now, similarly with the bad habits, as they add up, is the same thing with the good habits. Once you get a feel for what good posture feels like for you, you will automatically gravitate towards it. And after a while, it won't take up a lot of your thinking space. Because wouldn't it be great to hold yourself with ease and efficiency and have a posture that actually helps you to be productive and feel light in your body at the end of your day? Because let's face it, a lot of us are not doing that, are feeling heavy, tired, headachy at the end. And what I see a lot when people are sitting in front of the computer is a couple of things. So sometimes people will really sort of sit back and slouch. Some people have those fancy chairs. I love a fancy office chair, and people just sort of throw themselves into it and expect the chair to hold them, right? And that's not great. And the other thing, another bunch of people go, I'm going to sit really straight and I'm going to have an awesome posture. And they also lean forward as they are sort of drawn into the computer and concentrating. Now, the problem with that is that an increase in lumbar lordosis has been linked to neck and shoulder pain and tension. Now, those of you who love a scientific article, you will find the references at the bottom. So all at the end of those slides, there's a list of articles where all this stuff came from. So if you're one of those people, feel free to take a screenshot and have a read. And for those of you who might be wondering, what is lumbar lordosis? What is she talking about? Then take a look at the picture in the bottom where you can see me sitting, and you will see that red line by my lower back. So that represents lumbar lordosis. It's basically the curve of the lower back. So when that is increased, it changes the position of the shoulders and the head, and it can lead to neck and shoulder tension. And to help that, we're going to do a little practical thing together. So for this, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment, and I'd like you to put me on speaker view so you can see what I'm doing and do it with me. Because if you thought that you're just going to be listening, then you were wrong, because I'd like you to do some stuff. So first of all, I will still have my head on while I'm talking to you, but we'll focus the camera elsewhere in a moment. So I'd like you to take a seat, make sure that your feet are firmly on the ground. Now, some of you might be going, oh, my feet don't touch. And then I'd like you to go and grab a box, grab some books, get something that your feet can firmly touch the ground. It doesn't matter what sort of chair you're on, as long as your feet are touching, that's fine. And then the next thing I'd like you to do, I'm going to just focus on my back so you can see it. With the hands, I quite like them just comfortably on the lap for this one. It's not a must, however, they are comfy. Then I'd like you to sit a little bit away from the back of the chair so you've got some room to play. And we're going to find the balance on the buttock bones. So I'd like you to first just go left and right, swing a little bit between your buttock bones. And then I'd like you to come to the middle and find that space where your weight is even on both buttock bones. For some of you who might be struggling with this and you think, I'm not sure, I can't feel it, you can repeat and put your hands under your buttocks and you can feel the weight on each hand. And once they're even, you can get your hands out and then you know you're even there. Now, next, I'd like you to slouch your back. So slouch your back and come towards the back of the chair. And then sit up as straight as you can. So that's an example of an increased lumbar lordosis if you sit as straight as you can. And then slouch back down and sit up as straight as you can. Now, when you're sitting straight up, be careful with the head. You don't need to throw it back. That's not very good. Just sort of keep it like that. And let's do a couple more. So let's slouch, sit up as straight as you can, slouch again, sit up as straight as you can. And now, as you're coming back towards the slouch, I'd like you to find that position where you're evenly on both buttock bones, your back is quiet, but you feel that your core, your stomach has to work. It feels a little bit like, oh, my back's great, but oh my goodness, my front has to work for this. Have you got it? I see some of you are nodding. Okay. And then next is the head, because I can have a great position there and my head can still be forward. Now, those of you, have you noticed my voice changes? So I'm talking to you, and if I drop my head forward, the voice changes. So those of you who are speaking, doing presentations, if your head is forward, you're putting more strain on your vocal cords as well. So next we're going to sort your head out and see an easy way of getting it to the right position. I'd like you to imagine that there is a string coming from the crown of your head, and there's a bloke in the room or in the flat above who is holding your weight. So you are connected through your feet to the floor, you're connected to the chair through your buttock bones, and that gentleman up there with the muscles is holding the weight of your head. So if you've got that in the right position, then you can notice how your shoulders are just relaxed and they are hanging nicely. Now, as you look ahead at your camera, is your screen eye level? More or less, yes, no. So we're not going to talk about setting up your desk properly today. However, I do recommend that you do that, and this is how you know what a good eye level is for you. When the bloke is holding your head, you're evenly on your buttock bones, feet firmly on the ground. That's the height that you should be looking at. Now, I can guarantee that you will not hold this for the whole day, because nobody does. It's tiring. So the other thing I'd like to encourage you to do, and for this we come back to the presentation, so I'd like to encourage you really to get up. To get up at least every hour, if not twice, but definitely get up every hour. If for nothing else, stand up, have a stretch, and sit back down. Now, those of you who make phone calls, customer service calls, you can stand for those, walk around, pace, move, get the circulation going. And the other challenge I'd like to set to you is every time you go to the bathroom, every time you go to make a cup of tea, have a stretch. Just shoulders up, I can, and have a nice little stretch every time, just to increase the circulation, get your shoulders moving. And then you might be thinking, that's okay, but how does that influence my productivity? Because in the beginning, Richard promised that this is going to influence my productivity. How is that going to happen? And this is why in the breakout rooms, we're going to do a little experiment. I used to be a pharmacist before I started doing this. I love an experiment, and I hope that some of you do too. So what we're going to do in the breakout rooms is I'd like to ask our hosts in the rooms to please be the timekeepers for this, because we'll need some timekeeping there. And I'd like you for the first 5 minutes to sit in a back posture. So whether that is slouching in the chair, whether that is leaning extremely forward. If you're standing like me, you can still sort of slouch and be not in an optimal position, and network, have a chat with the people in the room. And as you do that, note down on a piece of paper or on your computer how hard or how easy it is to pay attention to what the others are saying whilst you're like that. How easy or how hard is it to collect your thoughts and get your words out while in that position? And also note down how's your mood and how are your energy levels? Are you tired? Do you feel like you're dragging, or are you full of beans when you're in this position? For 5 minutes as you're having your conversations. And after the first 5 minutes, for the next 5 minutes, I'd like you to find that good posture. So have a little bit of rocking, find your balance, get the bloke above to hold your head, and carry on networking. And now note down how easy it is or how hard it is to pay attention now. How easy it is to collect your thoughts and get your words out now. And what sort of thoughts are you having? How's your mood? How energized or how tired you feel in this position as you're networking? And then for the last 10 minutes, you have a chance to discuss, see what are your findings, what differences did you notice between being in those different positions, and how did they affect your attention, energy levels, thoughts, and voice.